Welcome back to Rising Phoenix Oracle. I am T the Oracle. Thank you for tuning in for another pick a card reading. So today's topic, we will focus on can or should the relationship be saved? Okay, so could the relationship be saved? Should you save the relationship? So let's go ahead and get some answers on that, get some clarity on that. So we'll go ahead and shuffle the cards a little bit and see what Spirit has to reveal, okay? Let me do 2 more shuffles here. All right, one more good shuffle. All right, here we go. Now, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Whatever number appears in your mind's eye, number 1, 2, or 3, that is the number that you go with. If you selected the number 1, let's set this to the side. This is your card. All right. You can see that here. It says start where you are. And let me go ahead and read what it says on this card, okay? It says the great thing about feeling deep, profound, earth-shaking love is that you can start with anyone. Very interesting, right? To be truthful with this card is giving me split down the middle road. Split down the middle road. And I know you're like, I want a yes or no answer. Sometimes life is not like that. Sometimes life is not straight yes or no. Sometimes you're at a crossroads. Sometimes it stops. Sometimes it's re-examined. Sometimes it's many other different things. There's gray areas. It's not always yes or no. And what this is giving me at this point right now, there are a couple different things to look at and to examine to see if this is what you want to do, whether you want to sever ties and leave the relationship or if you're willing to stay and try and work it out. Now, let's briefly go over this. If you decide to try and work it out, there are a number of things that go into play with this. There are a couple things that are factored in as to if it will be successful, possibly. Number 1, you can't be the only one that's working on the relationship, okay? Now, if you're staying there and the other person is dedicated to working it out as well, you have open lines of communication, you're dedicated to seeing both sides, like you look at the other person's side, they look at your side, and really go into this being optimistic, being hopeful, and really wanting to work it out because number 1, you have a solid foundation, you have a history, you have a basis, you have common goals, and the relationship may be on its downside for specific reasons. It may be financial, it may be, you're just not seeing eye to eye right now. That's why I said communication is key. You may need to go to couples therapy. Sometimes you may need to take a break and then just come back together. Sometimes you have to separate yourself from the situation, get time, space, in a new energy so you could be able to focus and understand what happened, what's really going on at that point, and then how can you go into a resolution from there. So that's one end. Now, number 2, if there's one person in the relationship that's not putting in any effort, there's no compromise, there's no understanding, they're not willing to look at your point of view, you're not willing to look at theirs, there are certain things that are going on, maybe mental abuse, physical, emotional, cheating, continuous cheating, whatever it is, certain things that are deal breakers for you, and certain things that really wound you and make you a wounded person to the point where it's a toxic codependency. If this is the type of relationship that you're in, then look here. You can start over with somebody else, okay? You say with anyone, okay? So keep that in mind. Weigh the pros and cons. Look at the situation for what it really is and not what you want it to be. Lay the cards out on the table, no pun intended. See where this relationship really is. Where has it been? Where is it now? And is it repairable? Okay, so that's why this is a maybe. So you got to think about that. All right. Now, if you selected card 2, this is for you. All right. This card says, enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness. Okay. And I'm going to read what it says. It says, do you know what you've created? No, besides an intergalactically known saunter named after you, inspiration in the eyes that you have watched, hope in the minds that have admired you, and love in the hearts that have known you. But you might ease up on your sachet before someone gets hurt. This is very interesting. I usually don't read the back of this because sometimes I'd be like, this be on some bullshit, to be honest, but I really don't read the back of these cards. But enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness. I think it's time for you to move into an area where you focus on yourself, to really get to know who you are, this is your season of getting to know you. You may have been wrapped up in your relationship for a long period of time, whereas you've lost yourself. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you like. Sometimes you can be in a relationship to the point where, I've stated this before, you become solely based on your role, whether it's a wife, whether it's a mother, caregiver, whatever it is, you're based on your role. And so the true you has no way to actually break through or to shine through. And that's not good. When you get lost in when you get lost into your roles, or get lost in a relationship, or get lost in someone, you get lost in love, you fall in love. You shouldn't be lost in love. You shouldn't fall in love. You should be standing. Your feet should be planted firmly. You should be stable. Anything that causes you to fall, anything that causes you to be lost, that is not good. Too much of anything is not good. You give too much of yourself to anything or anyone, that is not good. Okay, so at this point, can or should this relationship be saved? This card is telling me right here, the energy from this card is saying it may be time for you to break free. Okay, that's just plain and simple. All right, if you selected card 3, this is for you. Karma is on your side. Ooh-wee. I'm not even finna read the back of this because every time I read the back of these cards, they be weird as hell. But I just read off the energy, okay, that spirit is given from the medium of these cards, right? Karma is on your side. Look, I know you've been through some things, okay, specifically in your relationship. You might have dealt with cheating. You may have dealt with dishonesty. You may have dealt with just not being appreciated, no support, different things of that nature. And definitely if you know and you feel as if you've been done wrong, you've done what you're supposed to do, you've given your all, and it's just not reciprocated and you're tired of that, you feel empty, you feel depressed, you feel unsatisfied, there's no reason for you to be feeling that way. Even if you're debating on getting back together with someone, even if you're debating if you should get with someone, now karma's on your side. No, you don't want these tables to turn if you're sitting up here doing something or moving in a direction that you ain't supposed to go in. Okay, so listen to your heart, listen to your mind, listen to your logic, make sure that they line up, use your discernment and your intuition and move from there. If your intuition, your discernment, your logic has been telling you it's time to move on, what you waiting for? You waiting for more heartbreak? You're waiting for more dishonesty? You're waiting for more red flags? Time to move on. All right? So hopefully this reading helps you guys. Definitely, as I always say, it's good to look at all of the cards, 1, 2, and 3, but specifically if you selected one of those numbers, I'm glad you were here to listen and get a little bit of insight out of that. If you would like a personal intuitive reading, go ahead and click on the description of this video, and you'll be able to contact me via website to go ahead and schedule a phone or an email reading. Peace.